Tonight on CTV News at 6, winter's back in a big way. Edmonton gets another shot at clearing away a heavy snowfall.
Roads are terrible, sidewalks are even worse.
People in North Edmonton demand more information about a deadly daytime shooting.
It's scary, honestly. It's like you don't know what's going on. It's like you don't know what's going to happen next.
And
there were 2 new Dales in Alberta last year, which is twice as many as the year before.
Alberta's top baby names of 2025.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Jeff Hastings.
Good evening. After weeks of unseasonably warm weather, Edmonton is back in the winter trenches. Snow started overnight with Edmontonians waking up to a city enduring winter once again. The snow kept falling throughout the day, making for challenging and slow travel. Strong wind and plummeting temperatures, a reminder of what February in Edmonton really is. And what a reminder indeed, Corey. It's been snowing for many hours now. Are we nearly out of it?
We are. We can almost see it move almost completely out of the Edmonton areas. We'll take a look at the satellite radar right now, but still seeing the snow. We are almost done with it. It is cold too. Our temperatures dropped off. We are at -22 with the wind feeling like -32. So still feeling the cold. We are still under a snowfall warning for us here in Edmonton. Northern areas of the province, a cold warning, wind chill values -40 or lower. And then to the east of us, a winter storm warning. So we've got the cold warning to the north, snowfall warning. We are included in this, and then a winter storm warning to the east. But this could be dropped in the next little while as the snow is continuing to push further to the south. We can see it moving to the north. The brighter colors, those are heavier amounts, almost done with that. So we'll have some cloud in behind there with some scattered flurries, but the southwest corner already seeing this come to an end. Could still see a few more flurries as we go throughout the extended evening and overnight period, but the heavy snow, almost done with it, Jeff. I'll have more on that coming up.
Sounds great. Thank you, Corey. With the worst of the storm arriving today, city crews have been out clearing major roads to try to get ahead of it. As Miriam Valdez-Carletti reports, the city says it's learning to keep up from the last time it tackled snowy conditions.
Jonathan Easingwood almost went back to bed when he saw the snow outside his window, but clearing the snow is part of his job.
I didn't even want to go anywhere today, so roads are terrible, sidewalks are even worse, but we're definitely doing our part to make it happen.
Easingwood isn't alone. The city started its snow clearing early, bringing in extra contractors to clear major roads.
Typically they wait until when the snowfall ends, so now they've actually brought them in the beginning to make sure that the contractors are out there supplementing the work of the city crews.
A better way to tackle the new snow blanketing the city. Those contractors are in addition to the city's 120 truck plows already at work.
We do feel quite confident that we'll be able to get the roadways cleared and ready to go in a very short period of time.
The major snow dump in December saw many Edmontonians frustrated with the city's slow pace of snow clearing.
The city's been terrible this year. My vehicle, I've been in the shop multiple times because of the roads.
A citywide parking ban for major roadways takes effect Wednesday morning and will last 3 to 5 days.
Crews will be working in priority order 24/7 to get main roads clear for use for residents during this time.
Mayor Knack says enforcement for the parking ban won't increase as funding is at a standstill. At the start of the new fiscal year, the city is in good shape for its budget and wants to do better in 2027.
Because I don't want to just meet the current service standard anymore. I want us to be better than what we currently say we're going to do.
On Friday, the city will then evaluate if residential snow clearing is needed. Miriam Valdez-Carletti, CTV News, Edmonton.
People living in a North Edmonton neighbourhood want more information from police about a deadly shooting on Family Day. It happened in the early afternoon, and neighbours are scared bystanders could get hurt if it happens again. Amanda Anderson has reaction.
It happened on that side, and then it started driving slowly, going on that corner.
Romer Gamello didn't know what to think when he saw this SUV stop across the street from his house Monday afternoon.
A lot of people, like bystander, trying to look what's going on, and then I saw like shattered window glass. It's like maybe they trying just to stop the car, or maybe no one's driving or something.
He says it wasn't until police arrived a short time later he began to wonder if sounds he heard before seeing the SUV were gunshots.
And then what I heard is like it's multiple shots.
Police confirm they were called to Castle Downs Road and 109 Street for reports of a shooting. A man was found injured and, despite life-saving efforts, died later in hospital. The passenger window of the SUV was shattered and what appear to be bullet holes could be seen in the driver's side door. Next of kin have been notified, but police have yet to release any other details about what happened.
I feel tense, not safe.
This man, who asked not to be identified for safety concerns, says he couldn't sleep last night. He says he was thinking of the person killed, and because it happened in a busy area in the middle of the day, he now worries about how to keep his young children safe.
Bystander can die, it's happened. So that's we need to be fix this issue. So I have to watch my kids, and be more careful.
A concern shared by other parents in the neighborhood.
It's scary, honestly. It's like you don't know what's going on. It's like you don't know what's going to happen next.
Police are asking anyone with a dash cam or surveillance video of the area between 12 and 12:30 Monday to contact them. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
An Alberta family is devastated after a recent crash near Sherwood Park. A father and daughter were changing a flat tire when another vehicle hit them. The man was killed. The woman suffered serious injuries. Tyson Fedor reports.
Calgarians Paul Fortuna and his daughter Victoria had a close relationship. They shared their love of the Edmonton Oilers and their affection for their dog Monty. Paul welcomed Victoria to the world 21 years ago.
The first person to hold her was Paul. So the first face that Victoria saw was her dad's. And they had a special bond.
One that was tragically cut short on February 8th outside Sherwood Park on Anthony Henday Drive. Victoria called her dad, who was in Edmonton for business, to help fix a flat tire on the side of the road. As both stood roadside working on the tire, an SUV driven by a 21-year-old smashed into their vehicles, pushing them into the pair, killing Paul. Victoria was taken to hospital and placed into an induced coma. Both her legs were later amputated.
It's going to be a journey, and it's going to be a long-term journey for her. She's going to experience many milestones in her life where she's going to have wanted her dad to be there. And tragically, someone's taken that from them.
Victoria is a fine arts student at MacEwan University. She's had background roles in shows such as The Last of Us and Heartland. She even participated in the Calgary Stampede Parade last year. Family says she will need prosthetics. Her home will need to be modified to make it more accessible.
We are going to do everything we can to give her the best life and help support her.
The family has received an outpouring of financial donations through a crowdfunding campaign. RCMP have not laid charges but continue their investigation.
This is not the time for anger. It's hard to put that aside because it is so unfair and so unnecessary.
Tyson Fedor, CTV News, Calgary.
The city says while it is investigating a series of dog attacks, the current rules prevent it from doing more than issuing tickets. The city says it has received 10 recent complaints, all involving 2 large, loose dogs in the Inglewood and Prince Charles area. Officers have issued 6 tickets totaling $1,400. 8 special patrols were conducted in the area last week, and Edmonton's Deputy Chief of Animal Care says they plan to do more. He says the city's authority is currently limited by the Animal Control Bylaw. Officers can only seize a dog that has killed or seriously injured someone unless they have a court order. Once a new one takes effect in May, fines will increase and stronger enforcement will be allowed. City Council is holding the line on infill density. A motion to make 8plexes illegal unless they're on a corner was defeated today. Instead, Council is considering more changes to address the overall building size. Jeremy Thompson reports.
City Council is still trying to find the zoning sweet spot, a bylaw that allows density through different housing types while minimizing the impact to neighbors. Councillor Karen Principe proposes limiting infill projects to 6 units unless they're on a corner.
I think this is a reasonable compromise as opposed to going to 4 units.
The maximum unit reduction from 8 to 6 almost happened last summer. But two councillors who could have tipped the scales missed that vote. Instead, council shrunk the building length and tweaked design standards, among other changes.
We have made changes. They're actually quite significant. We haven't given the time to be implemented. We haven't given the market time to respond to it.
Some councillors say unit count isn't the biggest issue with Infill anymore, referencing comments like this from a public meeting last week.
The main problem is not height and it's not dwellings, it is massing and building volumes.
Unit count reductions that don't materially make the buildings smaller but simply reduce the amount of homes that are available in our communities is not what we're trying to achieve.
Council voted down the unit reduction, instead focusing on a proposal by the mayor to cut the height of exterior walls by 1 meter, encouraging peaked roofs over flat ones.
I have seen a 10.5 meter high rectangular box getting built, and I don't think that people like how tall that has gone and the massing that impacts when you're beside a bungalow.
In the end, council voted to shrink the overall building height, not just the edges. The change won't be final until a public hearing in the spring. Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
Our Kells are trying something new for their upcoming tour. The Canadian band is doing 3-night, 3-club takeovers here in Edmonton. They'll play the Buckingham May 14th, Starlight Room May 15th, and Midway Music Hall May 16th. The band says they wanted to create intimate experiences for their audiences. Tickets go on sale Friday. Arkel's new album, Between Us, comes out April 17th. And after a couple of weeks of February that felt more like April, Corey, now it's February.
Yeah, days when we could have had outdoor concerts to not so much. The weather has changed. We knew it was only mid-February, wondering how long those nice conditions could last, and they would have to come to an end eventually. As we take a live look outside right now, this is towards Saskatchewan Drive. Still the view obscured a little bit. Central areas of the city still seeing some snow. It's minus 22, feeling like minus 32. Very similar temperatures throughout the region, but the wind chills are as cold as minus 36 at the airport. So feeling a lot colder just south of the city. So we really need to be careful with these conditions. We're not going to be seeing substantial warm up until we get into the extended forecast. February snowfall, the day to beat was February 19th, 1992, where we saw 19 centimeters in a single day snowfall event. We won't get our totals until midnight tonight, but we're looking to be in the range 15 to 30. I'm guessing at this point that we probably did beat that, but we'll know by midnight. As we take a look at the satellite radar here in the city, getting a little bit of a break. Still heavier on the north and northeast corner of the city, but it is continuing to push to the north. Still in behind there, some more flurries, so we're not completely done with it, but we will be seeing lighter amounts, and that will continue to push to the north. It is intensifying towards Fort McMurray. For us, a slight chance of flurries overnight and through tomorrow morning, minus 25 to start, and then minus 22 for a high for tomorrow. The wind will ease as we go throughout the later parts of tomorrow, and so will the wind chill. Minus 18 Thursday, minus 15 Friday. So we will be dealing with the cold a little bit longer. I have your 5-day forecast next time we chat weather.
Sounds great. Thank you, Corey. Still ahead on CTV News at 6, the largest gathering of Indigenous professionals in the world.
Telling stories of this land and telling stories that are only true here in this place.
Exchanging ideas and knowledge to grow Indigenous tourism. And
there were 2 due dales in Alberta last year, which is twice as many as the year before.
And Dale didn't top the list of baby names in 2025. We'll tell you what did. Stay with us.
The CTV drone powered by Century Casino. 3 great locations, Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile. Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Indigenous tourism is growing, and people in the industry hope it becomes an even larger economic driver. As CTV's Gates Guarin reports, entrepreneurs and industry executives are in Edmonton sharing ideas about how to bring in more international visitors.
Visitors from around the world are learning about Indigenous people through art, wellness, and traditional skills.
It's new faces, new cultures.
It's a part of the largest gathering of Indigenous professionals in the world, looking to showcase and promote tourism of Indigenous lands and people.
It's telling stories of this land and telling stories that are only true here in this place, and we get to share that with everyone.
14 countries are represented at the conference. They're exchanging ideas and knowledge to grow the industry after the pandemic.
It's going to bring more economic potential. It'll bring more cultural revitalization. It supports reconciliation. It's big business.
Indigenous tourism contributes around $1.7 billion to the Canadian economy, with Alberta and Ontario leading the way. The Canadian Association says there's still more untapped potential.
The domestic and international demand is there. The challenge is, can we link with the sales channels more effectively? Can we develop more market and export-ready businesses?
Some of those businesses hoping to benefit are here. Moonstone Creation showcases how art brings people back to their roots.
I have people who look at my beadwork and it reminds them of back home.
Loretta Tutok sells wellness products using traditional medicines. She says she is honoring her kukum by taking care of others as a way of building community.
And we do so by honoring our stories, our traditions, our practices.
Painted Warriors sees Indigenous tourism as a way for people to feel proud of where they come from by teaching tourists original skills used to live off the land.
We get to have these conversations with visitors who are international or across Canada. And when you have these conversations, that's kind of what breaks down barriers.
With 1 in 3 people who come to visit Canada wanting an Indigenous tourism experience, those in Alberta say they can be a leader in this space.
Non-Indigenous Canada can come to the table and support Indigenous tourism. And while they're doing that, they're supporting the longevity of language and culture and pride.
Gates Gorin, CTV News, Edmonton.
The top baby names of 2025 in Alberta shouldn't come as any surprise. For the 13th straight year, Olivia is the #1 girl name, while Noah secured the top boy name for a 7th year in a row. Rounding out the top girl names, Amelia in 2nd, Emma and Sophia tied for 3rd, and in 4th and 5th, Charlotte and Violet. For boy names, Theodore surged from 4th to 2nd, its highest ranking ever. Oliver and Henry followed, while Jack and Lucas tied for 5th. Service Alberta Minister Dale Nally says he's surprised Connor hasn't made the top names list yet in the wake of 2 Stanley Cup final runs for the Oilers. He is celebrating one small win, though.
There were 2 Dew Dales in Alberta last year, which is twice as many as the year before, so we're really getting some momentum.
Albertans welcomed more than 52,000 babies in 2025, choosing more than 14,000 names. Still ahead, a hot streak.
We've worked so hard for this, and to be returning Olympic champions, it's just a dream come true.
Canada's women athletes are racking up more hardware in the final stretch of the games, and
it's never been requested. Again, it doesn't have really any impact at all on the result of the stone.
What a former Olympic curler thinks of the recent rink controversy, and what will happen to the rule books post-Olympics.
Believe it or not, we're almost done with the heaviest amounts of snow. Still could see some flurries, but the heavy snow continues to push to the north. A change in our forecast coming our way. I will have those details, your 5 and 10 day, coming up.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Canada is on a roll at the Milano Cortina Olympics. The team has won 3 gold medals in 3 days. CTV's Scott Hurst has more on our latest podium performance.
Golden again in the women's team pursuit.
I was so pumped when we won that race.
Valérie Maltais, Yvonne Blondin, and Isabelle Weideman successfully defended their Olympic title today. They won gold 4 years ago at Beijing 2022 and are on top of the podium again.
We've worked so hard for this, and to be returning Olympic champions, it's just a dream come true.
The trio of skaters defended their Olympic gold by outracing the Dutch team by nearly a full second. That after beating the Americans in the semi-final.
There were some really competitive teams out there, and we had everybody had a shot, and we knew that to stand on top, I think we had to skate our best, and that meant focusing on ourselves.
This now gives Canada 3 gold medals, all won in the last 3 days at Milano Cortina. Twice our anthem was played on the slopes, now for the first time at these Olympics at the speed skating track.
Whole
whole lot of emotion, but not emotional, just like really excited and really happy and proud of us.
All three skaters are highly decorated as a team and in their individual careers as well. Isabelle Weideman has now won 4 medals through 3 Olympic Games. Yvonne Blondin has won 2 golds and 1 silver through 4 Olympics. For Valérie Maltais, she is just one of 3 Canadian athletes competing in their 5th Olympics. That means she's been a part of every Olympic Winter Games since Vancouver 2010. She has won 4 medals overall. This now pushes our medal count to 12. 3 gold, 4 silver, and 5 bronze. Tomorrow, Canada will play Czechia in the much-anticipated men's hockey quarterfinals. Canada already beat Czechia 5-0 in their first group stage game. Scott Hurst, CTV News, Toronto.
A former Olympic curler says he wouldn't be surprised if World Curling looks at changing its rule book after the Games. Alberta's John Morris has 2 Olympic gold medals in curling. He's also a former teammate of Mark Kennedy's. Kennedy got into a spat with Sweden's Oscar Eriksson after Eriksson accused Kennedy of touching the rock after release. Morris says while double touching isn't allowed, in his experience it doesn't give any advantage. It's not something that officials usually watch for.
Because a player brought 1 or 2 players brought this up, they're now forced to monitor it because that's in their job duty. However, it's something that they've never had to monitor ever. It's never been requested. Again, it doesn't have really any impact at all on the result of the stone. And now at the world's biggest stage, it's kind of created a bit of a fiasco, which I think has been not an awesome distraction for a lot of the curlers. I think a lot of people that are making judgments about this are people that don't know curling, and all they're seeing on their BuzzFeed is cheating allegation. They're not looking into it. They're not being curious. And if you actually ask people in the curling world, I think they understand the situation a lot more, and they know that Mark is not really doing anything wrong, especially that he knows about, and especially that is really having any impact or giving Canada an advantage.
Canada's men's team won its round-robin game today against Great Britain. They play Italy tomorrow. And Corey, today would have been a perfect day to stay inside, in the warmth, and on your couch watching curling.
Yeah, no kidding. And maybe even early tomorrow, postponing your morning commute a little bit till things kind of get a little bit better out there. Because the roads were not great today. They won't be great tomorrow, but the weather will improve for tomorrow morning. There's just a lot of snow out there. Right now, you're taking a live look through the Action Furnace River Valley Skycam. Action Furnace, fixed right or it's free, -22. The view, we can see downtown a bit better. The snow is easing here in the city. The heavier amounts are pushing further to the north, so our view is better. It's not as obscured as it was last time we looked through the River Valley Skycam. So good news in that regard. Today's high was -14. That was at midnight, 1 a.m. That's where our temperature was sitting. That was the case throughout much of the province. Temperatures were the warmest into the early morning hours and then just dropped throughout the day. Lethbridge -2, Calgary -6. Let's take a look at their currents. -18 and -19, so a big drop in southern areas of the province. For us again, -22. Let's take a look, once you factor in the winds, what it feels like. Our wind chill value -32, Red Deer's is -36. Fort McMurray -38, so close to -40, and that's the case also for high level with theirs at -39. So really feeling the cold. Temperatures are cold, but add in a little bit of a wind, it's making it feel even colder. Still a cold warning in place for high level Peace River as well as Fort McMurray. Wind chill values -40 or close to there or below. For areas to the south of there, Slave Lake, Athabasca, us included, snowfall warning is in place, but that may be dropped as the snow continues to push further to the north. Stronger winds to the east, giving a winter storm warning, reduced visibility in those areas. It hasn't been great in our areas, but worse to the east. This snow is affecting much of the prairies, extending all the way into the southwest corner of Manitoba, now pushing further towards Fort McMurray. We're seeing it intensify there, but the heavier amounts now north of the city. Still seeing some snow and flurries, but it is a lot lighter, so that is good. And as we take a look at the future cast, it will continue to push further to the north and kind of lose some of its energy as it does so, continuing to break up and lose its punch and move to the northeast as we head into the early morning hours. Tomorrow morning, a slight chance of flurries, and then as we get into tomorrow afternoon, we might even see a little bit of sun break through. Overnight tonight, minus 25. Still could see some scattered flurries, much more scattered, a chance of that in the morning, and then possibly a little bit of sun breaking through tomorrow, minus 22 for a high. The wind will slowly ease. The wind chill, it will feel colder. It'll feel like minus 26. Thursday, a little bit more cloud than sun. Minus 18, minus 15 for Friday, and there's our weekend. That hasn't changed a whole lot. Minus 17 for Saturday, Sunday. But as we head towards the end of the extended forecast, we could see temperatures approach seasonal once again with even more sun coming our way. Jeff.
Thanks, Corey. Still ahead, Canada's changing national defense strategy.
It means building a domestic defense industrial base so we are never hostage to the decisions of others.
Mark Carney decides to buy and build Canadian, and a towering figure in the American civil rights movement has died.
Programming brought to you by Century Casino. 3 great locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile. Programming brought to you by Basement Systems Edmonton. Contact us today for all things basement-y.
Prime Minister Carney has officially launched his multi-billion-dollar Canada First Buy and Build defense industrial strategy. It promises contracts to Canadian firms and 125,000 jobs to Canadians. CTV's Geneviève Beauchemin reports.
Prime Minister Mark Carney says Canada has for too long relied on geography and others to protect the country, that his plan overhauls that strategy in a changing world.
It means building a domestic defense industrial base so we are never hostage to the decisions of others.
Others, including the U.S. Still, Carney insisted his strategy to arm the military and boost Canada's defense industry would be complementary, not in competition with American defense supply chains.
Its framework is simple: build, partner, buy. First, we will build in Canada and prioritize Canadian companies.
Canadian companies now provide roughly 1/3 of this country's military needs. Carney wants 70% over the next decade, and he wants to increase defense exports by 50%.
That's real growth.
Many of Canada's defense contractors have long focused on exports. This strategy could change that, but the industry says the procurement system has to be much leaner, faster.
If it doesn't happen, it could undermine the entire strategy that we just heard about today.
Many of the details had been revealed before, and the Conservatives criticized the strategy as filled with buzzwords and promises that won't deliver.
What I expect from this government is that they're going to put aside their partisanship and reach across the table and work with us to ensure that we can deliver.
But the government says it's setting up a defense investment agency to streamline the system, a centerpiece of its strategy. CAE is the world's largest simulator provider. Half of its business is for civil use, half for defense, most of it for now exported.
We're talking about a sea change in spending and focus, and so as the government works on simplifying how to work with contractors, it only accelerates us.
But with this major overhaul of defense spending, many say that there's still some fine-tuning to be done to ensure that this strategy becomes reality. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Montreal.
The Prime Minister also confirmed today he's helping to lead the conversation over a new trading bloc, a concept the Europeans have been pushing for months. Here's CTV's Michael Couture on how it would work.
Prime Minister Mark Carney confirms Canada has begun discussions with countries from both the European Union and a collection of Pacific nations with an eye to making a larger trading bloc. It builds on his speech in Davos, where Carney called on middle powers to join together.
You start to put together blocks of like-minded countries on different issues. Canada can play a role there. We're one of the countries playing a role, and we'll continue those discussions.
The new trading bloc would represent 39 countries and 1.5 billion people. While the Conservatives applaud the effort, trade critic Adam Chambers says resources should be focused on renewing the Canada-US-Mexico trade agreement.
A discussion between CPTPP nations and the EU might have some future fruits down the road. We need to make sure that we get a deal right on NAFTA as we did a number of years ago.
President Donald Trump has mused about walking away from the trilateral trade deal altogether. And some trade experts worry creating another massive trading bloc without the U.S. could make him angry.
We know Donald Trump. If you go down this road, he will take this as a personal affront. And we seem to be walking into the punches. I don't quite understand the strategy.
While there is a risk of blowback from the U.S., this former trade advisor to Prime Minister Stephen Harper believes getting like-minded nations on the same page is a good thing.
Even if this isn't successful, I think that there's still a worthwhile effort in having a common conversation with all of these countries together around how we can cooperate, how we can collaborate.
Trade experts also point out there are still elements of the Canada-EU free trade agreement which have not been ratified by European countries. So while there are discussions about a new trading bloc, we're still a long way from striking a deal. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
Alberta is stepping up its fight against wildfire, spending hundreds of millions of dollars for new water bombers. It's being called a long-term investment aimed at strengthening response efforts while also creating local jobs and boosting training programs. CTV's Mark Villani reports.
Alberta has seen its share of wildfire devastation, from homes burnt to the ground in Fort McMurray to the town of Jasper up in flames. It's why the province is opening up its pocketbook to stay prepared.
This is an investment in public safety, in the lives of Albertans, protection of their property, protection of our communities.
Alberta's government is spending $400 million allocated from its 2024 budget to purchase 5 new DHC-515 aircrafts from de Havilland, Canada. These new models will complement Alberta's existing fleet of 4 water bombers, flying 15% faster at up to 330 kilometers per hour and increasing aerial drop capacity by nearly 60%. Entirely built in Alberta, the first water bomber is expected to arrive by spring 2031 and the remaining aircraft delivered over the following 2 years.
New aircraft are a game changer. They're built for Alberta. They fly faster, carry more water, and reload in seconds, giving our wildland firefighters the power to hit wildfires hard and early.
It's all part of a deal that aims to create and sustain at least 1,000 jobs. Welcome news for SAIT's aviation programs, which have doubled training capacity over the last few years just to keep up with demand.
And today we have over 80% of our airplanes either made by us or sourced by Canadian companies. Unheard of in this kind of sector in aerospace.
All the while, de Havilland soon expects to open its new field manufacturing facility by 2028, just 30 kilometers east of Calgary in Wheatland County.
This was a move that shows confidence in Alberta's economy and our government's ability to keep Alberta as the best place to do business.
And with a stronger workforce and faster aircraft, Alberta hopes to save more lives.
It can be greatly reduced when we're capable of a stronger and more rapid response.
Mark Villani, CTV News, Calgary.
Tributes are pouring in for Jesse Jackson. The champion of civil rights and social justice was a towering figure in the leadership of Black America. As CTV's Heather Wright reports, Jackson leaves behind a complex legacy.
I am. A skilled orator, a passionate advocate, Jesse Jackson spent 6 decades building bridges, helping the less fortunate, and fighting for racial equality.
Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive.
Born in the segregated South in 1941 to a teenage mother, Jackson was in seminary school when he traveled to Selma, Alabama to march for voting rights, meeting Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. for the first time. He soon began working with the civil rights leader and was at the motel in Memphis, Tennessee, the night King was assassinated.
We ain't the bottom, we the foundation.
Jackson soon emerged as the most high-profile successor to Dr. King, though some accused the Baptist minister of capitalizing on King's death.
Our flag is red, white, and blue, but our nation is rainbow. Red, yellow, brown, black, and white.
One of the most prominent American politicians of the 1980s and 90s, Jackson started the Rainbow Coalition, focusing on social justice and economic empowerment.
I officially announce my candidacy.
Jackson ran for president twice in 1984 and 1988, considered the first Black candidate to be a serious contender. And though he was never the Democratic nominee, his work helped pave the path for the election of President Barack Obama in 2008. Jackson watched with tears in his eyes as Obama was declared the winner. A mediator and negotiator, Jackson helped secure the release of international prisoners and hostages.
Well, we've been invited to by the Mohawks.
And in 1990, he flew to Quebec to try and break a deadlock during the Oka crisis, one of the many times he crossed international borders to help marginalized communities.
To address issues from the ground up, issues that affect racialized people, youth, justice issues, faith-based issues.
Jackson was not without fault. During his first presidential campaign, he used an anti-Semitic slur to describe New York City, later apologizing. And in 2001, he admitted to fathering a child out of wedlock.
This campaign has taught me much.
In announcing his death today, his family called him a real servant leader who elevated the voice of the voiceless. Jesse Jackson was 84. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
Still ahead, paying more at the grocery store.
I expect that we'll see higher beef prices sustained for a few years.
While overall inflation is down, food prices continue to rise. We'll break down the numbers. Looking at the markets, the Canadian dollar traded for about 73 cents U.S. Oil was down 49 cents, closing at $62.26 a barrel. Gold lost $140 today. The TSX ended lower, down 177 points. The Dow Jones up 32. Inflation slowed last month with savings on gas, shelter, even cell services. Groceries, though, are a different story. Canada is reporting the highest food inflation rate of all G7 countries. CTV's Adrian Gobriel has more.
Putting the brakes on inflation at the pumps. Canada's annual inflation rate landed at 2.3% in January, a slight dip from 2.4% in December, with the price of gasoline driving the decline, dipping by more than 16% year over year.
Pretty good print with prices heading in the right direction.
After years of driving inflation, the cost of shelter is now actually helping keep things grounded.
Whether that's ownership costs, or we're seeing that rents overall are decelerating. I would say that big contributing factor to CPI continues to move in the right direction.
The same can't be said at the grocery store, where a 4.8% overall increase is leaving Canadians with a bitter taste. While rice, fresh vegetables, and eggs have decelerated, ground beef is up by more than 22% year over year. Nuts and seeds have spiked more than 13%, with roasted and ground coffee boiling over at more than 37%.
It's products that are affected by specific circumstances that are driving prices up.
Coffee yields, according to one economist, are being impacted by climate change. Droughts in recent years have in part led to Canadian farmers reducing their number of cattle to a near 40-year low.
Often we say when price goes up, demand goes down, and we're not very quick to stop eating beef. I expect that we'll see higher beef prices sustained for a few years.
While food costs remain a concern, overall the current rate of inflation is being pitched as a positive, even as the outlook remains murky, with so much riding on the whims of a U.S. administration and vital free trade negotiations.
Some economists believe there's a good chance that interest rates will hold when the Bank of Canada announces its next decision on March 18th, though GDP and unemployment could factor in to future rate decisions in April and June. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Toronto.
Premier Danielle Smith says Albertans should prepare for a deficit in next week's budget.
We're just wanting people to brace themselves that just like every other province and the federal government and virtually every jurisdiction around the world, there's unfortunately going to be deficits until we start seeing some oil prices turn around and getting new production online.
Smith says the provincial budget needed $74 a barrel WTI in order to balance. Prices below $60 a barrel for most of last year will mean deficits. The Premier says while the province has been working to diversify its economy, Alberta's budget is still over-reliant on resource revenue. Edmontonians will have a chance this weekend to sign a petition against coal mining on the eastern slopes of the Rockies. Alberta musician Cor Blunt is spearheading the petition. It calls for the government to introduce legislation prohibiting any new mining activity for coal in the region. If successful, the province would then pass a coal mining ban or send the issue to a province-wide vote.
the whole 6 years, what the government's tack on this has been to say, oh, okay, Alberta, we've heard you. We understand your concerns. We'll fix it. And then they don't fix it. They leave big loopholes in it. So we worded our question extremely specifically to make sure that we include Grassy Mountain and any coal projects on the slopes of the Rockies, because it's a terrible idea economically and ecologically.
The petition will have a launch event here in Edmonton at the Orange Hall in Old Strathcona. That takes place Sunday from noon until 4. Petitioners must collect just shy of 178,000 signatures for it to go ahead. Still ahead, a whimsical winter tradition.
And I always come in this part of the trail because they're so cute and so sweet, and I appreciate it.
Simple snow sculptures bring smiles to everyone along this winter trail.
We've got another great night of entertainment coming up right here on CTV.
Wednesday on Your Morning, we talked to Mayor Andrew Knack about snow and whether or not clearing will be different. Plus, we climb up high for a firefighter's rooftop campout for muscular dystrophy.
Your Morning Edmonton.
The trail near Ottawa's river is home to about a dozen bears. These ones, though, are made of snow. CTV's Peter Sperling introduces us to the so-called Bear Lady.
Maggie Glossop's creations spread joy.
People tell me it makes them smile, so that makes me smile.
She sculpts bears out of snow.
I build them because I enjoy building, and also because people seem to really like them.
Their home in the Kitchissippi Woods near the Ottawa River.
I started building snow bears here about 8 or 9 years ago, and every year when the snow conditions are right, I come back and build bears. Good morning.
A hit with anyone walking, snowshoeing, or skiing along the Kitchissippi Winter Trail.
It's a highlight, and I always come in this part of the trail because they're so cute and so sweet, and I appreciate it. Puts a smile on my face every single time.
And it looks so cool. There are a total of 15 bears, and some people using this trail have even made it a treasure hunt to find all of them.
I saw those 3, and then there were some around the corner, and then these ones now, but no, I haven't seen 15, I don't think, so.
Are you going to keep an eye out?
Maybe there's some more. Yeah, for sure.
Some are up in the trees, others on tree stumps, and these two on a bench. Sculpting the bears requires slightly warmer temperatures.
When it gets close to 0, the snow gets sticky, and then I can build them.
Parts of their faces made using brown wool. For 78-year-old Glossop, who lives nearby, it's a chance to be outside.
It's my happy place, so instead of signing up for a gym to go and get exercise, I'm over in the woods almost every day.
And when it gets too warm, the bears hibernate until next year.
People ask me, but don't you get really sad when they melt away? And I say, no, they're I come back and do it again next year, and it's great.
Peter Sperling, CTV News.
Yeah, well then, we could build a lot of bears with the snow we got today.
Yeah, for sure. Wow, we did get a lot. No official amounts until midnight, but the range could have seen in the region anywhere up around 30 centimeters, so a decent amount. The good thing is most of that snow is pushing north. Could still see some scattered flurries through the evening and overnight period into tomorrow morning, about a 40% chance, but very light and scattered after that. And then we might see a few breaks in the cloud tomorrow afternoon, minus 22. Still feeling slightly colder, though, with a bit of a breeze. Minus 18 Thursday, Friday minus 16, and then minus 17 for Saturday and Sunday. We're not done with the cold. We have to wait until the end of next week, and then we'll start to see temperatures recover a bit after that, Jeff.
All right. Thank you, Corey, and thank you very much for sharing your time with us. For news anytime, check out our website, ctvnewsedmonton.ca. Good night.